Ready? About to go live.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's have fun. All right, guys. Here's another episode of the Not So Fucking Ordinary Show where I'm taking the time to interview extraordinary people. And as you can already see, before I even introduce this individual to my left, this motherfucker is extraordinary just by looking at him. Anthony Williams on the show today. Anthony, how we doing, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, of course.
Seriously.
Good to have you. This has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to get Anthony on the show for quite some time now. You know, this guy is very clearly an expert in bodybuilding. He knows nutrition, supplementation, workouts, exercise, and to encapsulate all of that is, of course, the mindset, which we're going to pull apart here today. You ready for this, big boy?
What introduction, huh? Yeah, let's get it going, man.
All right, man.
Definitely.
So my goal here is to not only unravel what makes you tick, but I want to bring as much value to the people watching and listening.
Sure.
Because a lot of people are always trying to figure out the combination lock of trying to get healthy and fit. You know, what do I eat? You know, how much protein? What exercises do I do? Am I going to get too big if I eat protein? All those myths, all those questions I want to try and debunk here.
What's the tricks, right?
All right. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But let's first start with your origin story a little bit. Where are you from?
So I'm from Chicago. I moved here when I was like 15 years old, and it was my parents wanted like a different pace of life for me, you know. Got in a little trouble, and my pops was like, "You got to go." So I came to Minnesota, changed my life, got into sports. I say that sports definitely kept me on the straight and narrow. So played high school basketball. Actually went off to college for a little bit to play basketball or whatever. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Minnesota's home now.
Minnesota's home now.
It is. Yep.
So tell me how you got into bodybuilding.
Actually, it's funny because I was dating a young lady, and her best friend was getting ready for a show, and I didn't know what a bodybuilder was. I didn't know the difference between a bodybuilder and a power lifter. Honestly, I didn't even know people got on stage and posing trunks.
Okay.
In 2011, so I go to my first show to watch and support this young lady, and I remember the guys coming out, and I had no idea that the body can look like that. And right there, I go, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So I started training.
And what age are you at?
I was 23 years old.
Okay.
I was 23. So I started training. 4 months later, I'm on stage competing. I did the natural Mr. Minnesota, the novice division, and I ended up winning my class and the overall. And it was gone.
Off the races from there?
It was definitely.
Dude, I saw the pictures from that show from when you were showing me, and you were a lot smaller than you are now, but the symmetry, the proportions,
right.
God damn, dude, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, did you do that with a coach or without a coach, that first show?
So I actually had a couple guys looking over me. I had a coach, a main coach, and then I had my mentor, who was Dan Reeves, who guided me through that.
Steve Reeves' great grandson, or what?
You would think so. You would think so, definitely. But yeah, so I had a couple people who guided me into the show.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So that was your first show. Tell me about like the timeline from there in terms of shows goes. Was there like from then till now, has there been like 5 shows, 6 shows, 10 shows?
Actually, I believe in, like, it takes time to develop. Like it literally takes time to build muscle. That's why you see in the IFBB, like the top guys, some of the top guys are in their late 30s, early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have one Dexter Jackson who is 50 years old. He's still one of the top guys, so it takes time. So I've never been in a rush. But in 2011, I did my first show, and I waited a couple years, and I did another show.
And you waited to try and put on size? Or
I did, right.
Okay.
So I came in the next year, the next 2 years, I came in like 10 pounds heavier. And then I didn't do my next one until 2015. So I went 2011, 2013, 2015 for me. And I put on some decent size in that time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So a show every other year, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And with the goal of putting on size
Mm-hmm.
every year tapering down a little bit, see what that package looks like to ensure you are progressing every year.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So, but I haven't competed since 2015.
Okay.
So the next time I get on stage, November 2nd, so it'll be 4 years since I competed.
And when's the next show?
November 2nd, and it's in Chicago, and it's like the Midwest Gladiator, I believe it's called.
That sounds badass.
Yeah, I mean, it's dope too, because it'll be the first time that I compete back home in front of my people. So everybody's coming out.
There's going to be a huge turnout for that.
I got to bring it. I got to bring the noise, dude. Like, seriously, I have to. So I'm excited for that.
So November 2nd, what's the location? So if anyone's watching, listening, actually wants to go and see you step on stage, since it's been a few years.
I don't know the exact location, but I know it is.
But it's November 2nd, called the Gladiator.
The Midwest Gladiator.
Midwest Gladiator.
I was just looking at it yesterday.
I mean, that's fine. That's enough details for people to Google. So if you guys want to see Anthony step on stage, which I'm sure you do, check it out November 2nd. What does that show mean for you in your career?
So it's like the coming out show for me, because it's my first year in the NPC. So I competed always in like the NAMBF drug tested shows, so in the NPC, it's the amateur to the IFBB. So my goal is to do that show, qualify for nationals. If the judges tell me to go to nationals, and nationals is 3 weeks later in Miami, then I'm going, But if I don't hear that, if they don't give it to me, I'll take another year and I'll just grow. I have no problem with that. A lot of people are going to be upset when they hear this, but I'll take the next year and I'll grow even a little more. But if the judges say, get your butt to Miami, I'm going 3 weeks later.
I think that's a perfect perspective. I like the fact that you have a marathon runner's mentality.
Exactly.
Where, especially in athletics, or not athletics, but in the fitness world, bodybuilding, the name of the game for so many people is the sprinter's mentality. They want to get as big as quickly as possible, get as shredded as quickly as possible. You know what that does, not only to people's actual physical appearance, but internally as well, in terms of just fucking up all of their insides.
Right.
I like the fact that you're taking the time to grow properly, to do it correct, which is also going to bring in the best results, which long term you have the patience mentality, which is super rare. So kudos to you for that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I always tell people, bodybuilding isn't going anywhere. It's going to be here. This is an old man sport. Like, take your time, especially you see the young bucks come in. They want to know how much protein. Should I get on gear? Should I get on drugs? Should I do these things? I'm just like, take your time.
Build the foundation first, right?
Yes,
that's what I meant by the sprinter's mentality, especially in the novice or amateur classes. You have these guys who all of a sudden they see someone like you, and they've never really took the time to invest in educating themselves in the gym and in nutrition and in supplementation. So they're looking for the quick fix and say, you know what, I'm going to shoot up this, shoot up that, shoot up this. Yep. Their proportions go to shit. They have all the symptoms that you would see from someone who does that. And the sad thing is they get the results that they're looking for. But the way I look at it is the most important thing is the character development that's lacking. For someone like you who has been doing this for 10 years or more now and is willing to do it for another 10, another 20, another 30, like I said, the marathon runner, what happens in that process is the development of your character.
Yes.
And so you're building blocks of due diligence, work ethic, perseverance, dedication, discipline, heart, etc., which you then can transfer into your relationship with your lady or at work or whatever it is. Whereas the individual who just wakes up, you know what, I want Anthony's body. That's easy. Shoop.
Yep.
And then waiting for some results. They're looking for the quick fix. And it's the same, that same individual is the same individual who is trying to find the quick money. So they do, pyramid scams or whatever the hell it is. And they're always looking for those shortcuts where, to your point, man, this is a long, patient endeavor.
I like how you you basically broke it down, and it's a lifestyle, right? It teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to be patient. That's the biggest thing. And in so many different areas of your life, you can use that, right? Patience is a virtue. I don't always say that to people. It's important, and it's definitely bodybuilding has definitely taught me that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very important message to zone in on, because like I said, a lot of people are going to be watching and they're going to get motivated when they see you. Even when I take a screenshot of this video and I put it as our thumbnail for the video, people will be like, God damn, who is that big ass motherfucker?
Damn,
I want to be like that.
Damn, you're making me feel good.
And like I said, they're gonna want to do the quick path, but it's just so important. It's one thing for me to sit here, a smaller guy, and say that, but when they hear someone like, who they're looking up to, say, look, you have to take the time to actually develop and learn and educate yourself and do this properly.
Exactly.
It means a lot more coming from you. So I wanted to highlight that, which is super important, and I'm glad you believe in that. Okay, let's segue a little bit here. So you're essentially on the road to going pro.
That's on the road of that long road that we just talked about. But yes,
And I want that to be your slogan. Like when I think of you and what you're doing, like on the road to pro, on the road to pro. Like that's like your little slogan, your little tagline. Throw that in your Instagram, something along those lines. Because I think I won't just speak for myself. I'll speak for most people that know you personally. They're so excited to join you on this journey, because I and the hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, I have seen with my own eyes walk up to you in the gym and take the time to introduce themselves. And of course, you're always more than welcoming. You take your headphones off and you talk to people. And I'm like, damn, I don't know if I could do that, because I'm kind of an asshole in the gym. But you're always a nice guy. You're willing to help people and talk to people and get to know people. And so with that being said, I think everyone that you've touched directly and indirectly wants to see you succeed, and they're watching you along this journey or this road of going pro. And that's how does that feel?
I mean, it's nice to have the support, obviously, but I look at it more as like, I do want to become a pro. That's the goal, right? Like,
Yep.
On that long road to becoming a pro, I do want to become pro. So I try to keep it professional, like, right? No matter how much I'm suffering or uncomfortable getting ready for a show, like, it's going to be a part of my job to stop and talk to people, to educate, to show people, the way,
Right.
as you would say, So, yeah, I mean, it feels good. It feels good. You have to give back, and what you give out, you give in. So, yeah.
I think you do a phenomenal job of that. And I shouldn't use the word job, because I think it's genuinely who you are.
Mm-hmm.
For someone who doesn't naturally vibe with people well or communicate with people well or genuinely want to help people, that becomes a job.
Right.
They have to be more aware of it, which is okay. But I think you naturally do a very good job of connecting with people and just wanting to help. And you understand that, okay, this person is a complete stranger, and they have the courage to come up to me and to first say, wow, I'm impressed, or compliment me, and then give compliments, and then ask for advice, essentially. And so I think you do a really good job of digesting that and then being able to essentially give back to that individual with respect and compliments, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's how I look at it. Somebody helped me. I didn't just get here just because I knew. Somebody helped me. Somebody took the time to teach me, and it taught me how to do it. And I love people. I mean, obviously, I love just talking. I love talking bodybuilding. I love talking fitness. And to see the excitement on someone's face, like, honestly, to see the excitement on someone's face is like, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time they seriously believe it and think it and see it. I can see that, and it makes me happy.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I just got this weird thought, and I'm going to ask the question while it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be bodybuilding for 10, 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
maybe the rest of your life, do you feel like the passion for bodybuilding will ever transition into some other area of fitness when you feel like it's time to be like, okay, I'm done trying to put on size, or my bodybuilding career at such a high level is going to diminish? Like, do you feel that you want to stay active? So maybe you'll start becoming a marathon runner or a swimmer or a cyclist. Like, do you ever think about that?
I do, actually. I do. I think, like, you know, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be able to push crazy heavy weights when, you know, I'm really old or so. But I'm a person who love to challenge myself within fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Before getting into bodybuilding, I was the person who went out and ran 5 miles. I trained for a couple hours a day. So I always ask myself, would I do a marathon? Or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, would I do a triathlon? Or what's next for me? I can't see myself just sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's going to turn into something else, obviously. But where in fitness, I always think about it, you know.
I just have the visualization of 40, 50 years from now, and I know you're just going to be 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
You're going to be a yoga instructor. I can't wait, man.
You know, now you're taking things a little too far, but who knows,
Oh,
though?
my gosh.
Who knows? No.
That's
Who knows?
awesome.
Yeah. But the fitness, I've always just loved fitness. And not for anybody else or anything. I've loved it for myself always, you know. And
Mhm.
before I got into bodybuilding, people would ask me, what are you training for? What are you training for? I always, what are these people asking me this for? What does that even mean? Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do. This is what I like to do. You know, so when I saw bodybuilding, I was like, okay, that's what I'm about to be training for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, yeah.
I love that. I love understanding why people train, like the reasons behind it. When people ask me why I train, because I don't get on stage. I'm not a huge dude, but I train. You know, I train. You know,
You train hard.
you know, I train twice a day, every day, and so I get that question a lot, just based off of my intensity, not because of the way I look or anything like that. It's just based off of I put my head down, I get after it, and people ask me that, and I don't get upset. For a little while, I got upset when people asked me, but I really started looking at it in a different lens. Like, this is a compliment. My actions are getting people to look and then ask. And so I get humbled by the question, but I tell them, and it sounds cliche and it sounds very corny, but when they ask me, I'm training for life, but more specifically, I train for my mindset more than anything.
Right.
Period, dot, exclamation mark. I train for my mindset, and that is it. The fruits of those labors is a decently athletic physique,
Yes.
but I train for my mind. So I wake up early, I go to the gym and get my body moving so I'm ready to attack the fucking day because of the nature of my career and the pressure and the intensities of it. And then I go back to the gym as a break in my day and then get after some of the heavier weight. But I try and put myself in the most uncomfortable fucking situation so that when I'm at work or I'm dealing with something in a relationship setting or whatever it may be, I have the mental fortitude to push back it. Because when you're training with weights and going through the resistance, you know you train to burn and more, or to failure and more.
Right.
You know, you accept and welcome the burn and that pain. And the pain is the catalyst of transformation. And that's exactly what I look for in my day at work.
Right.
When I feel like taking a break at work, I know that is the 8th rep in my set, and I need to bust out 3 more. Like that's
that.
how I look at it.
I like that.
And so, referring back to what we were talking about earlier, is that these fundamental blocks of character that are developed in the gym is then transpired into those other areas. And that's how I do it. Is I try and build the fuck out of my mind by putting myself through hell in a physical state in the gym. So my mind is then calloused, as David Goggins would say, and then you can just, everything that's coming at you throughout the day is super easy. So done with my rant and tangent. This is Anthony's spotlight. I'm gonna stop.
It was good. I like.
But so your goal is to be a pro bodybuilder.
Correct.
I'm assuming you want to be up on the Mr. Olympia stage.
That's anybody that bodybuilds, anybody that seriously bodybuild or think about it on a serious matter anyways, want to be on that Olympia stage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that we all want to be there. That's the elite of the elite. That's the best in the world of the sport of bodybuilding. But yes, I always train to win, and I train to be one of the best. And that's how it is. You know? So
Yeah, I firmly believe that if anyone's going to be on that stage, it's you. That hasn't been on there yet. I like so firmly believe that you will, given your mindset and like I said, the way you hold yourself with humbleness, but deep inside, on the surface you're humble, but inside I know there's this fucking fire
it has to be.
to compete and to win and to do the best and to be a fucking role model for your son. Apologize for the swears if your son watches this someday.
No,
but
you're totally fine.
but I know that you're the individual that can absolutely get on the Olympia stage. It won't be easy by any means, but I just have that confidence in you. I'm excited to see that happen. I'm going to buy a first row ticket, man. I'm be like, hit me with the back double bicep, baby.
No, I appreciate that, definitely. Yeah, you have to have that inner beast. I mean, every bodybuilder that does fairly well, they have an inner beast. No matter how nice they are, they have it. They have to be able to go in the gym and let it out. So, yeah.
Is there anything in particular that triggers it? Like let me give you a practical scenario. Let's say you're getting under the bar, you're about to do squats, and you're about to hit your last set. Your trunks are toast, but you know you have to bust out 8 more. You're on the 6th rep. Is there anything in particular that you call to mentally to be able to bust out those last 2 reps?
Yes. I hate being able to not do something. Not to finish something that I put in my mind, I set, it frightens me, you know, because like you say, life is connected. If I can't finish this, you know, then what else can I finish in life, you know? And also, if I don't finish this, if I don't do this work, somebody else will. Somebody else will do it for me.
There you go.
So I might as well, you know, get down and do what the hell I'm supposed to do.
That's great. I love having those sources to be able to draw from, and the fact that you know those. I mean, you would have to know what those are to be at what you've been able to create already. You have to be able to draw on those. I wanted to highlight that because I think it's important for a lot of people watching and listening right now to identify what those sources of inspiration or energy are in those moments of wanting to give up and wanting to quit and wanting to throw in the towel, because I so strongly believe that the 2 most dangerous words is good enough. That was good enough. 6 reps, that was good enough. 8 hours at work, that was good enough. Dusting the furniture but not picking up the picture frames, that was good enough. Picking up the dog shit in the yard, tying up the bag, but then you see on the way to the garbage can that there was 1 more piece and you say, I got most of it, that was good enough.
Every area of life.
You see how fucking the difference between someone who's good and great is, in my opinion, has that type of a mindset.
Right.
They don't settle for mediocrity. It's like greatness in everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Woo! I'm getting the tingles, baby.
I agree.
We're hitting legs after this, and I'm just thinking about that right now.
Yes, yeah. This is a good conversation to have before our leg day.
Oh man.
Especially my mental leg.
All right, let me ask you a few more things before we wrap up here. So with being a pro bodybuilder, being on the Olympia stage as the core of your focus, is there anything else you're trying to do in terms of like side projects that you're trying to do in tangent to take advantage of your journey? For example, are you trying to do personal training? Are you trying to maybe start a supplement line or be involved in the supplement line or grow your social media? Tell me about some of the projects that go hand in hand with that.
So
journey.
I work for a company called Stage Ready.
Stage Ready?
Stage Ready.
Okay.
And we do nutrition, science-based like nutrition, like protocols for people completely online, training protocols. So, I mean, I deal with a lot of the general population. I deal with athletes. I deal with bodybuilders. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for me. I want to continue to, you know, bring people in and teach people, not keep people wrapped up, but teach people and send them on their way. You know, so yeah,
That's
huge
important.
for me. Yeah,
I think a lot of, to your point, I know a lot of personal trainers that I spectate from afar that try and bring in clients, and they try and give them just the smallest amount of progression to keep them as a client, rather than knowing they can transform that individual through the proper education, through all the pillars of fitness, put them on their way, rather than giving them the fish, they're teaching them how to fish. And I think the best trainers do that.
Yeah.
And
so a lot of people look at it as, a lot of trainers look at it as job security. You know, if you don't give the entire picture, then they have to come back to you at some point, right? I disagree with that.
yeah, I don't like that approach.
I disagree with that a lot. Like, I don't care for that. I try to give as much knowledge. I might flood you with knowledge, you know, a little more than you can handle at times, but over a long period of time, I want you to be able to go off, feel confident on your own. You know, it's a bittersweet kind of like breakup relationship that we go through. But yeah, I'm here to teach. And one, there's so many people in the world. If I can hit as many people as possible, that's my ultimate goal with outside of like bodybuilding. Yeah.
Where can people find you if they wanted to leverage you as a
I mean,
coach?
you can reach on my Instagram, A-Train for Anthony, or you can just directly email me at Anthony at StageReadyPrep.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Great. So if you guys check out Anthony online on his Instagram, A-Train.
For Anthony, the number 4, Anthony.
All right, A-Train, Anthony 4. Or say it again. Just say it louder. I want to make sure they hear you.
A-Train for Anthony. So A-Train, number 4, Anthony. And I'll pop up.
All right, perfect. So check out his Instagram. You're going to like what you see.
Hopefully.
Hit him in the DMs if you want.
Yes.
Coaching, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, posing practice, anything and everything to do with health and fitness. This is a fantastic resource for you. And as you can already tell through this interview, super nice, humble guy, easy to work with. So I'd strongly recommend you guys do that. Anything else? Let me ask you this, and we'll wrap up with this question. How do you want to be remembered?
That's a great question. As a good guy, I guess. I want people to be able to say, that dude will help anybody. You know, some of my buddies say it, you know, but they're my buddies. You know, I want people to seriously say, that guy will take the time out for, it doesn't matter if it's a homeless person on the street or a CEO of a company, he will take the time out and give his time to you. You know, it doesn't matter. So that's one of the biggest things, you know. And obviously we all have, like, we want to leave our legacy. I have a 4-year-old son, you know, and that is what motivates me. He motivates me, and he watches everything I do. And he literally tries to repeat everything I do. So I try to be as great as I can be at every little thing I do. So if I can be remembered as like a great person or someone who works hard, you know, my son also see that too. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I think you're well on the way of fulfilling both of those buckets of being someone who is willing to help anyone and everyone and being an absolute stand-up role model to your son in all aspects of life. I think you're well on your way, my man.
It all comes full circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, I appreciate you being on my show. I felt like I was on your show because I'm, you know, but no, it's great to have you, my man.
Thanks for having me, brother. Definitely. This was fun, man. You got to have me again, for sure.
And I got to have you do a front double bicep for the camera real quickly. Come on, baby.
Right on the spot,
Come
bro.
on, do it. Boom. We're out, guys. That was awesome, man.
It was good.
You like that?
I liked it.
Shit. That was
Damn,
fun.
man, you got to cut it up for me, man.
Come on. What are you at? What are you at? Come on. Come on. Shit. Come on. Let's go.